Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NASCAR Xfinity Series slate on DraftKings for the Phoenix race on Saturday. We got a lot to break down here. Before I do that, if you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me grow, and I'm here to bring you NASCAR DFS videos all year long, so be sure to be sticking around for that. For all three series as well, Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series. No Truck Series race this week, but Xfinity and Cup Series. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon. I'll put the link down below. $10 a month, you're going to get content for all three series. Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series content for all three of them. And then as well, if you want to join America DFS Discord, I've become the content creator for their Discord, and I just kind of answer questions anyone has, go over lines with people. So I think that's a good way to get better DFS. Be sure to click that link down below as well. Of course, follow me on Twitter, and then be sure to tune in for the live stream on Saturday at about 12:30, somewhere around that area. I'll be going live, talking about this slate more, answering any of your guys' questions that you guys have. And I'll have more knowledge on the slate at that point because I will have done more research for then. So this is kind of just like a first thoughts video. That's more of a what I'm really going with 100%. So let's get into the video. We're gonna start with Justin Allgeier. He's $12,000. He starts 12th. Look, there's a reason he's the most expensive driver. He has been the best to short and flat tracks, in the Xfinity Series for a while now. Only the sixth best average finish at Phoenix, but the second at short tracks and the fourth at flat tracks. Then when you look at average position, he is the best at all three of them. When you go get laps led, it's not even close at Phoenix, 357 compared to the other guys at Phoenix, and it's not even close to short and flat tracks either. 1,800 laps led at short tracks and 785 laps led at the flat tracks. It's pretty much a known factor here that Justin Allgeier is great at short tracks, and Phoenix is not going to be any different here. So look, I'm going to love Justin Allgeier. Offers us some place differential, offers us laps led. I'm sure he's going to be popular, but I don't hate it. Don't have a problem with it. Noah Gregson's interesting. He's had an up and down year so far, and I'm still going to be kind of interested in going there. I think he's got one of the fastest cars, and I think he's probably the second best driver in the series this year. So, full-time driver in the series this year. So I'm going to still like going to Noah Gragson just about every week. Fourth best average finish at Phoenix, third at short tracks, second at flat tracks, third best average position at all three of them. He's only led 29 laps at Phoenix, but 166 at short tracks and 69 at flat tracks. It shows you that he can be a dominator. So I don't hate that at all. Starts 10th. He may be a little bit pricey, but I don't hate going there. I don't think he'll be his own. He's probably going to get ownership. Noah Gragson always gets ownership no matter what. So I'm still going to be interested there. Austin Centric starts third. He's $11,200. He's probably the best driver in the Xfinity Series this year. Look, I'm still going to want to go to him pretty much every week. Second best average finish at Phoenix, fourth at short tracks, fifth at flat tracks. When you look at average position, he is the third best at Phoenix, fourth at short tracks, and fourth at flat tracks. When you go get laps led, 97 laps led at Phoenix, 399 at short tracks, 225 at flat tracks. He picks up fast laps everywhere. So, yeah, Austin Cindric starting third. I think he can get out to a pretty early lead here. He's going to be someone I want to target. Harrison Burton's interesting because he has the best average finish at Phoenix short and flat tracks and the second best average position at Phoenix short and flat tracks. But he's 0 laps led at Phoenix, so that's not really great. That's not what I'm expecting to see. You don't want that. You want someone who can lead laps, but I think Harrison Burton should be taking a leap this year, although you may not have seen it already, but he should be taking a little bit of a bigger step this year. 173 laps led at short tracks, though, and 92 at flat tracks. He's definitely has dominator potential, but I would definitely put Allgeier, Gregson, and Cindric a tier above him for sure. AJ Allmendinger won last week. Starts fourth here, has at $10,400. Hasn't raced at Phoenix in the Xfinity Series. Only has one race, I believe, at a short track, to be honest, in the Xfinity Series. Has a 15th best average finish. I'm not really going to be too worried about his average finishes. He has 68 laps led at short tracks and 68 laps led at flat tracks. So, that's what I'm going to look at here. I think he's fine play. I think AJ Allmendinger belongs in this top tier of dominators for this race, just as a talent and a car wise. But I think I'd rank him fourth out of the four. But I still am interested in AJ Allmendinger here at $10,400. I think he can get you some place differential points. Riley Herbst is 10K. I tweeted yesterday. I was like, I cannot believe Riley Herbst is 10K. Never thought I'd see the day of that. That would happen. But here we are. He starts 30th. He's in the Stewart-Haas number 98 car, which is just lightning fast. Herbst has been decent at Phoenix. 7th best average finish at Phoenix. 10th at short tracks. 11th at flat tracks. 8th best average position at Phoenix. 7th at short tracks. 9th at flat tracks. He's not going to lead you any laps, but he can finish inside that top 10 for sure. He should finish inside that top 10. So at $10,100, I don't have a problem playing that. Daniel Hamrick is $9,700. He starts on the pole. Daniel Hamrick led laps last week. He's an interesting one here. I haven't really made up my mind on what I think about him yet, but he has the 11th best average finish at Phoenix. Isn't great. 5th best at short tracks, 8th at flat tracks. When you look at average position, 9th at Phoenix, 5th at short tracks, 7th at flat tracks. When you look at laps led, he only has one lap led at Phoenix, but he does have 133 at short tracks and 75 at flat tracks, so he certainly can lead some laps. If he gets out to an early lead, I like that. And I think he's going to be way less popular than his teammate Brandon Jones starting on the opposite because Brandon Jones won this race a year ago and he has the infamous, oh, he beat Kyle Busch. Like, he passed Kyle Busch. Like, his car was a lot faster than Kyle Busch. That's why he beat him. So, yeah, I mean, he beat Kyle Busch here last year. Second best average finish at Phoenix, 7th at short tracks, 7th at flat tracks. When you go look at average position, he has the 5th at Phoenix, 8th at short tracks, and 10th at flat tracks. But to be honest, I mean, he led 27 laps last year. It's not like he had a dominating performance, just at the fastest car at the end of the race. He does have 45. He does have 45 laps, fast laps at Phoenix. So that's pretty good. 224 laps led at short tracks is solid, though. It is, the most in this range here. But he has raced more races than all of these guys, so there's that. 73 fast or laps led at flat tracks as well. I think he's interesting. I think he's going to be popular because he won this race a year ago, and people are just going to go to him over Hamrick because Hamrick, he never won a race. But this is still the best equipped car Hamrick's ever been in. He looked fast last week. I think I'm gonna, I think I just prefer going to Hamrick over Jones here just because of the ownership. Now I think Jones, Jones is gonna be more popular, but I don't think one of them's like that much better of a play than the other. So I think I'd prefer Hamrick just because of the ownership. But you don't even have to play either of these guys. If you can just get up to two of the Allgeiers, Gregson, Centric, Burton, Allmendingers of the world, I do that. But if you got to get one of these guys, I'd probably prefer Hamrick over Jones. Justin Haley's good at these tracks, these shorter flat tracks, but just isn't a winner at them. He's $9,200. He starts 5th. Or he's not a lap leader. That's what I meant. 5th average finish at Phoenix, 6th best at short tracks, 3rd at flat tracks, 6th best average position at Phoenix, 6th at short tracks, 5th at flat tracks. He has 0 laps led at Phoenix, only 57 at short tracks and 51 at flat tracks. I'm probably not going to get there. He's just not someone I'm really too interested in. I just, think he hangs around the top 5 and top 10 all day. Probably doesn't get out front. So Justin Haley, not going to be too excited. Now, Ty Gibbs is the interesting one. Look, I think he's still too cheap. Like, he got a legitimate $4K bump after one race. One race, that guy jumped off $4,000 in salary because he was ridiculous at his price at like $5,700 last race or $5,400 or something like that. It was so cheap, and I still think he's too cheap because look, he's in that Joe Gibbs race number 54. Like, I don't think he's gonna win this race again. I really, if he wins this race again, wow. But I think he's gonna have a really good run. And I mean, in that really good car, he starts 27th, offers some place differential. He should be able to rack up some fast laps. Maybe he gets out front. I wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't bank on that when you're making this play, but a top 5 run is definitely in the cards here and definitely can get you some fast laps because he's in one of the fastest cars in the field. Like, that 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing is a very fast car. So I'm interested in Ty Gibbs. I think he's too cheap. He's probably going to be popular again, but I don't really care. I just don't, like, I expected his price to jump up, but DraftKings didn't price him high enough. He should be like $9,500, $9,600 starting 27th. He's $8,900. I don't understand that. But that's fine. I'll just keep playing him. Like Riley Herbst starts 3 spots worse, and he's $10,100. He's $1,200 more than Ty Gibbs, and he starts 3 spots worse. That's it. And I mean, they're in very, those are 2 of the best cars in the field. Riley Herbst, yeah, he's more experienced, but like Ty Gibbs in one race has done better than Riley Herbst has his entire career in NASCAR. So, yeah, I like Ty Gibbs. I don't understand the pricing here. I'm gonna go right back to him. Loved him last race. Love him again. Ryan Sieg's $8,600, starts 31st. I don't have a problem here. 13th best average finish at Phoenix, 12th at short tracks, 9th at flat tracks. He should be able to get you some place differential. Definitely going to be pretty interested there. Brett Moffitt's $8,400. He starts 20th. This one's interesting to me. That car's been kind of fast this year so far. He's probably going to need like a top 10 to pay off that salary, but I think it's definitely possible. 16th best average finish at Phoenix, 13th at short tracks, 13th at flat tracks. Kind of running around that same position as well. The car's been, that was all really from last year. The car's been a little bit better this year, so if he can push for that top 10, yeah, I'm like Brett Moffitt. Mike Snyder starts 19th, $8,200. Most of these stats are from the 92, 93. I don't even know what number that car was that he drove last year. And then he drove the number 2 for RTR that he's driving right now. He had good runs at Phoenix, so I like Mike Snyder. He feels too cheap for that equipment. Should be able to contend for a top 10 here in a good car, starting 19th. Offers a place differential. I'm going to be very interested. Michael Annett starts too high here. I mean, I know he's only $7,900, but he's still starting 8th. I think he just hangs around 8th all day. It's probably not going to do it. Jed Burton, same thing, starts 6th. I think he's just going to hang around 6th to 10th all day. Same thing with Josh Berry, 9th. He'll probably hang around 9th to 13th all day. None of those guys I feel like are going to pay off their salary. I don't really see them being lap leaders at all, so I'm not going to be all that interested in any of them. Although they could be interesting pivots, but I think more to pivots here I'd prefer to go to, like, because, Sieg and Gibbs are going to get ownership. We know that's going to happen. Herbst is going to get ownership. The pivots are Brett Moffitt and Mike Snyder. To me, they're not Michael Annett, Jed Burton, Josh Berry. Santino Ferrucci, okay, I'm really going to like this number 26 car for Sam Hunt Racing going forward this year, but I don't know if I like it starting 14th. I think if he was like, 6,900, I think I'd be a little more interested, but at 7,400, right now, I'm not feeling all that interested. This could change. This is definitely a car that I feel like I could change my opinion on by like Saturday to live stream how I'm gonna have. But for now, I don't think I'm gonna be all that excited, that interested in him. Um, I mean, he's probably gonna need a top 10 to pay off that salary, and I don't want to bet on Santino Ferrucci making his third ever start in the Xfinity Series, getting us a top 10. So, I mean, the car's good, but it's not that good. So, it's not like top tier equipment, and I don't think Santino Ferrucci is a top tier driver. So, I'm probably not gonna get there. Ryan Vargas starts 25th. He's look, I get it. I kind of understood why DraftKings would price Ryan Vargas up when he was starting in the 30s, but now he starts 25th. Like, okay, I'm just going to not even talk about him. Don't play him. Alex LeBay is $7,200. He starts 36. Like, why is Ryan Vargas more expensive than Alex LeBay? That makes zero sense to me. I'll play Alex LeBay all day. Starts 36. 18th best average finish at Phoenix. 18th at short tracks. 17th at flat tracks. The average running position is the same as those. So you should finish inside that top 20. That's probably going to be paying off that salary. I like that a lot. Alex LeBay definitely going to be interested. Brandon Brown starts 11th at $7,100. He probably hangs around 11th all day. I'm going to have to go see what exactly needs to pay off that salary, but I could see him being someone that could be an interesting tournament play just because if he, finishes inside that top 10 and just a lot of these guys bust around him, that could be a really good tournament play. Now, obviously, the floor is nowhere near as high, and he's not going to, project out as well, but if accidents happen, which they do, Brandon Brown's going to be interesting. Greg Galding's too expensive at $6,900. That Jimmy Means car sucks, so I'm just not really all that excited for that. J.J. Yaley's back. He's going to be chalk, but I'm cool with it. He's $6,700. He starts 33rd. We know what J.J. Yaley brings to the table. 20th best average finish at Phoenix, 17th at short tracks, 16th at flat tracks. He runs, a little bit worse, but still, there's going to be wrecks in this race for sure. So J.J. Yaley at $6,700 in that Rick Ware number 17 car. Love it. I loved it 2 weeks ago at Homestead. Did great. I'm going to love it here again. So should definitely get us a top 20. He could get us a top 15 as well. He is always a driver that's going to keep the car clean. He's not going to wreck it. He's more talented than most of the drivers that we've seen at 17 cars. So I'm interested in J.J. Yaley at $6,700. That's going to be someone I want to get to. Jeffrey Earnhardt going to continue to fade that, especially starting 21st. Jeremy Clemens, $6,400, starting 13th. He could compete for a top 10, but I'm still probably not going to be all that interested there. Colby Howard starts 24th. Starts a little too high for me at $6,300. If he was in the 5K range, I'd be a little more interested there, but in the 6K range, probably not going to pay for that. Jay Buford starts 32nd. If you want to pay for that, I think that's interesting because this is a race where, I don't know. I don't want to play Jay Buford, man. That car's really not that good. He's like a new driver, so I don't know. I think he's an interesting tournament play. I might get some shares of him, but still probably not going to do that. Josh Williams is kind of interesting again. I'm kind of interested going back there. He had a good run last week. He paid off his salary, I believe. He starts 17th here. He's probably going to need like a top 15 to pay off that salary. He has a 15th best average finish at Phoenix, 16th at short tracks, 15th at flat tracks. I think he can do it. We've seen him get, top 13s in the past. Like, we've seen him compete for top 10s in the past in these races. So, I don't hate it. I think it's an interesting play. That's something I'm probably going to have to dive a little bit more into if I prefer going to Josh Williams versus these other guys that start super far back to we're about to go over in the 5K range. But I think Josh Williams, nobody's going to play him, and he could be an interesting play that I'll probably have some sort of exposure to. Bailey Curry, no, I'm not going to play him. He starts too high, man. Because you look at Bailey Curry and you look at these guys, and it's just like, okay, I'm going to play these guys. So we got to talk about these guys. This is really where it's going to come down to a lot of stuff. It's going to come down to sponsorship on these cars. It's going to come down to ownership on these cars for these drivers. This is going to be wild. Let's first I think Matt Mills is out. That car for BJ McLeod Motorsports is bad. Wow, that camera now focus. It's back. But it's really bad. I just don't want to pay for it. Now, I know these MBM/Hattori cars, whatever you want to call them, they're bad too, but we got to see what is going on with these cars. David Starr is the first one I want to talk about because I think I like David Starr here. He's racing the 61, which is generally the best car for this team, and we'll see if they have Hattori backing on this car. I would assume they don't because it depends on the driver. With David Starr driving it, I don't feel like they're going to have Hattori equipment in this car, but we will see. That will be something that I don't know now, and I won't know now, but I will know that on Saturday. So tune into that live stream. David Starr, he's had sponsorship all year from Whataburger. I think on the entry list it said he was going to have that again, so I'd expect him to have that. And starting 37th, I'm like only $5,300. That's fine for me. I want to pay for that. He's probably my favorite play in this range. To be honest, I really like David Starr. That's going to be someone I want to get to. Timmy Hill at starting 39th is interesting as well. If he's having sponsorship and he's going to run this full race, then look, I love him too. At $5,500, he's just way too cheap. I really like that as well. And then the one other MBM car that's just interesting is Lori Heismans. I don't know. This is his first ever Xfinity Series race ever. I just he's I think like a Euro car. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what series. I think he drives over in Europe in some series. I just wouldn't expect him to come into this series for his first race and just start in park or just run in 40th the whole race. I really just wouldn't. Now there's no sponsorship on that car right now, but if he's a big time racer in another series, usually those guys end up having sponsors when they come over to a NASCAR race. So we'll see what happens here. Starting 40. If he's $5,700, he's not going to need to do a lot to pay off that salary. I think that's going to be interesting. We got to find out if that car has sponsor. I do not know if that car has sponsor as of the time I'm recording this video. It has not been released, so we will know on Saturday, and we will know if that is an interesting play. But for now, I'm gonna be interested in that. But that's probably the third tier with those MBM cars. David Starhill, Heismans are going to be my ranking there. And then Stefan Parsons. Look, I know Parsons has sucked the last few weeks, but like he's had issues. Like I mean, the first week, 2 weeks ago, he had some sort of mechanical issue, and then last week he spun out, and I think that caused a mechanical issue too. Like I'm not going to tell you these cars are good. That's the risk when you're taking on these cars on here to have mechanical issues. But they don't every race have mechanical issues, and on the chance they don't, these guys Stefan Parsons, BJ McLeod usually have a good run. So starting 35th, I mean this guy's more talented than pretty much everyone else in this range. It's just we gotta hope that the equipment's there. And at $5,400, I'm willing to pay for it. I don't think anyone's going to play Stefan Parsons because he just burned him 2 weeks in a row. And they're going to play Star. They're going to play Timmy Hill. They're going to play Timmy Hill. I can pretty much promise you right now Timmy Hill will be the most owned driver in these 5 drivers right here. But for now, I'm going to rank them as David Starr 1. I'm going to go Stefan Parsons 2, Timmy Hill 3, Loris Heismans 4, and Matt Mills 5. That could change based on sponsorship, based on ownership, based on what I'm hearing other people say. If I think one of these guys can be super highly owned. Like if I think all of a sudden Timmy Hill is going to be like 50% owned today, I'm just going to fade him. Like because all these guys have pretty much the same upside and the same floor. So, yeah, I mean, so that's going to be something we have to get into later. But those are my thoughts on those guys for now. I think they're all pretty interesting plays. And then going down through the rest of this field, Landon Cassill starting 18th. Like I really have a hard time believing these guys beat these guys. Like I just in points. So Landon Cassill starting 18th, not going to be interested. Tommy Joe Martin starting 15th, not going to be interested. Jesse Little starting 23rd, it's kind of interesting, but still really not interested. Joe Graf starting 16th, not interested. We'll get back to Blaine Perkins. Kyle Weatherman starting 26th, not interested. And Dexter Bean starting 22nd, not interested. If Blaine Perkins is sponsorship, that's interesting because he's in that Ryan Sieg Racing number 23 car. This is not the car. I mean, Tyler Reddick, yeah, he's been driving it the past 2 weeks. Now, that car was better than what we're going to see in Blaine Perkins this week because now that was an Our Motorsports car under Ryan Sieg Racing. This is not. This is going to be a Ryan Sieg Racing car with Blaine Perkins. Perkins isn't like a great driver or anything, but starting 28th has some place differential left side. If that car has sponsorship, it can be a top 20 car, and that can be interesting at $4,700. That's another thing that we will find out on Saturday that I do not know right now. So be sure to tune in for that live stream. But yeah, that's really all I got to say on this preview. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. As always, leave a like, subscribe, really helps me grow. Turn on the notification bell so you know when I do go live on Saturday. I mean, and that's going to be important. And you can always rewatch it if you can't catch it. You just won't get your question answered. Of course, if you do want to ask questions that you can on the live stream, follow me on Twitter at @NateLane_. I'll put the link down below, and I'll answer any of your questions you send me in the DMs. So, yep, that's really all I got to say. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully we're going to make some money this weekend. Be sure to check out that Cup Series video if you're interested in college basketball. Do that as well. It's March Madness right now. We're having a blast. NASCAR's a blast. This is a great weekend of sports, so have a great rest of your weekend.